Samantha Yarock, and welcome to Gold Cup Today, MLSsoccer.com's daily coverage of the 2013 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Well, we have a lot to cover today, so let's jump right into last night's games. Group B entered the tournament in front of a sold-out crowd at Red Bull Arena. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first game, Trinidad and Tobago taking on El Salvador.
It was Trinidad and Tobago and El Salvador in the first game at Red Bull Arena, and things got started early. Keon Daniel from the Philadelphia Union putting the ball away, giving Trinidad and Tobago a 1-0 lead.
Fellow MLSer Steve Purdy trying to deflect it, doesn't get enough on it. That was the 10th minute, but in the 21st, the response from El Salvador, Rodolfo Zelaya with the stunning free kick.
Later on, it was El Salvador again. This was Rafael Burgos off the post, so he went into halftime 1-1.
Then in the second half, this cross from Darwin Seren finds Zelaya. It's the 68th minute. El Salvador takes the lead.
Answered quickly by Trinidad and Tobago, though. It's Kenwin Jones scoring his first goal of the tournament and tying the match.
It was 4 minutes after El Salvador had taken the lead, and he just out-muscles the entire Salvadoran back line.
El Salvador with a chance to take the lead late. Osael Romero off the post.
And they weren't done. Here's a bicycle kick from Zelaya, denied by goalkeeper Jan-Michael Williams. Look at that technique. Zelaya, the star of this show.
What a save it was. The fans at Red Bull Arena got their money's worth in the first match alone.
The energy was incredible last night, largely in part to Rodolfo Zelaya's standout performance. So guys, is this a player that MLS teams should be looking at?
Well, Simon, the 25-year-old from Alianza in El Salvador, he's been on the radar for a little while. He had a great 2011 Gold Cup, was named to the best 11 for that tournament. So he's not new to MLS teams. The question is, why has he not appeared on MLS radars to this point?
I think MLS coaches know he's a special player. They saw his quality in the 2011 Gold Cup. But the issue is that although he has these special plays in him, he takes the rest of the game off. He's not big enough, he's not fast enough, he doesn't put enough work in on the field. So I think that's a luxury player in MLS. I don't think his style fits the kind of soccer played in the United States.
I think the counterpoint here is that maybe he's a player who could help a team late in a game, maybe play the last 20 minutes when you're down a goal. Can he try to create something out of nothing? The question is, a player of his stature for his national team, is he going to take that role and be happy with it?
He's not buying it.
All right, after seeing these two teams in action for the first time in the tournament, has it changed your opinion of either team?
It's changed my opinion about Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, this is a team that was off the radar for me. They didn't even make the semifinal round of qualifying. They lost to teams like Bermuda and Guyana. So I didn't know what to expect. I thought this would be a team in shambles. But when you see them on the field, they're athletically gifted. Technically, they have really good players. Carlos Edwards and Kaleem Highland in the midfield were pretty good. And that's without mentioning a guy like Kenwin Jones up top, Keon Daniel from the Philadelphia Union, who we all know, Carlisle Mitchell from Vancouver. So I think they have a lot of good pieces. They're not going to be an easy out, not in this group stage, and if they go on in the knockout rounds.
All right, you mentioned Kenwin Jones, and you said before the tournament that he was a guy who was going to have to perform for Trinidad to go through. He got his first goal. Trinidad got their first point. Let's hear what their head coach, Stephen Hart, had to say.
At times when we got forward, when we moved and we got forward, we got into some good positions, especially out wide. And in the second half, we had a couple of good chances. Good goalkeeping kept us off the scoreboard. And we need to do more of that, not give the ball away in our half and then play faster in the attacking third.
Well, the second game of the night had fans going just as wild as the first, where we saw the group favorite Honduras facing Haiti. There are several MLSers on these teams, so let's take a look at the highlights.
Well, these teams would have a lot of work to do to keep up with the pace of that first game, but they kind of did it, Simon. Some controversy early. Looking for the call is Haiti. They don't get it. Honduras counters, and it's Ronnie Martinez finishing the play for a 1-0 lead for Honduras.
His first goal for Honduras and only his second appearance for the team. Martinez to Martinez. Look at that finish. Excellent.
And from there, it was all Haiti for a while. Haiti with plenty of chances. Donis Escobar forced into a tough save for Honduras.
And number 18 there, Lionel St. Preux, he was active throughout the first half, showing up everywhere, getting shots off, but they couldn't get past Escobar.
It was 1-0 at the half for Honduras. Haiti squandered plenty of chances in that first half, and that was really the story. In the second half, Marvin Chavez from the San Jose Earthquakes comes on for Honduras and really makes the difference, putting things away 2-0 with his goal.
It was a 77th-minute goal, Jason, to really put this game away. I thought the goalkeeper could have done a better job on that finish. Marvin Chavez coming in really with his speed, making a difference, but Haiti trying one last time. Jean-Philippe Peguero with the header. That's easily stopped, but Honduras comfortable after that second goal by Chavez.
2-0 victory for Honduras, and Haiti had all the chances in the world, were not able to convert.
So even though Honduras got the win last night, the real story seems to be the energetic Haitian team. So guys, how far do you see Haiti going in this tournament, especially with their next game in Miami with the huge Haitian fan base?
Well, Simon, I think here the question is, how will Haiti respond to playing in front of that big home field crowd? And it could go either way. I mean, we saw them in the first game. They looked nervous. They weren't able to finish plenty of really good chances. Now, playing in front of that home crowd, that does one of two things. Either it makes you more nervous because you think you need to impress them, or potentially does it relax you because you feel more comfortable there? More
pressure, Jason. They're going to be in market a few days before. That Haitian population in Miami, they're going to be talking about the game on radio and in the community. These players are going to hear the chatter. That's going to be bad because this is a do-or-die game, their upcoming match here. So I think it's not going to help them in the end.
Well, let me ask you, do you see them going through then to the next round?
I think they have a fighting chance, Jason, but I think in order for them to be successful in the last two games, they have to start Jean-Philippe Peguero, the ex-MLS forward. He's going to be their best finisher. We saw how they create a lot of chances, but they couldn't finish them. I think you start him and let them play that style of just pressing all over the field and creating chances, have him there to finish them, and then you have a chance.
All right, we'll see how that goes. The other side of the coin here is Honduras. When you looked at it, you expected Honduras to drive this game. You expected them to be in control the whole time. They get out with a 2-0 victory, but there was definitely a bunch of dicey moments in it. Is Honduras, as far as you're concerned, still one of the tournament favorites?
Look, they don't come out of that game looking great despite winning. But they did what they had to do in this game. Haiti wanted the game to be hectic, to be pressure all over the field, to be back and forth. Honduras didn't want any of that. They stayed organized, they sat back, they let the Haitians run themselves into the ground. They had a few defensive lapses, which gave the Haitians chances. But for the most part, they capitalized on the moments presented to them. And by getting this result against Haiti, I think Honduras showed the experience of being one of the powers in CONCACAF, and they got the result.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what Luis Fernando Suarez did in this game, bringing Marvin Chavez on in the second half in order to make an impact, that's the kind of stuff you need in a tournament like this where you play a lot of games. You have to go further than your first 11. Let's hear from Suarez on the impact Chavez made in this game.
In today's game, in today's circumstances, Marvin was better as a substitute, but definitely he's a player that has grown a lot. He's a player that's still young, and he has a lot to offer. However, I feel that he could create any damage, in any game.
Well, tonight Group C enters the tournament. First up, we have Costa Rica versus Cuba, followed by the U.S. taking on Belize. Our very own Jonah Friedman's out in Portland with the U.S. men's national team, so let's check in with him now.
That behind us is the U.S. national team training on Monday here in Portland at Gerald Field. But on Sunday, their eyes were firmly fixed on the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, where Martinique pulled a stunning upset of Canada in the Gold Cup opener. And that has been the theme here for the U.S. national team ahead of their opener against Belize, the number 130 ranked team in the world. And the theme has been, you cannot take any team lightly in CONCACAF. Anyone can pull an upset at any time. The U.S. is keenly aware of this. They know that Belize has everything to prove and nothing to lose in this tournament. So they're focused on perhaps getting a team that's probably going to try to hold the ball and dare them to attack them. And the U.S. says that that's going to be their focus as they look to unlock a team, get their goals early, make sure they get a victory in this first game of the Gold Cup. From then, it's all about winning back the trophy that they have not had in their possession since 2007.
Well, we're expecting a difficult game. We expect a Belize side that, is highly enthusiastic, motivated to play their game here in the Gold Cup. They are thrilled that they made it through, but they made it through because they deserved it.
We all have something to prove, and we all want to be a part of the World Cup team. So for us, this is the perfect opportunity, and we want to take advantage of it. We can't be complacent. And when you play in a group stage where there's only 3 games, every game matters immensely. So we're very aware of that, and we'll be ready to play.
Well, there are obviously a lot of eyeballs on Stuart Holden following his performance on Friday against Guatemala. But guys, who are some of the other players you're looking at, and what are you expecting to see from them?
Well, the first one has to be someone who partnered with Holden in the midfield. I'm looking at Mix Diskerud. He's a player who was involved in the pool for a little while, then he kind of fell out of favor, flirted with coming back to MLS, and then didn't. He's now got an opportunity to shine in front of Klinsmann for a month-long tournament, Simon. I think this is his chance to make a statement for himself to be on that 23-man World Cup roster.
He has to do it, Jason, but I think fans are enamored with him because he makes the nice pass. He has that nice technique that you see every now and then in a game. But I think to really be a regular in Klinsmann's lineup, you need to go in a game and make a difference. I don't want to see a play here and there and gets the fans all excited. I want to see a player who comes on and takes control of a game, takes it by the neck like Holden did. So maybe Diskerud was hurt being paired with Holden in midfield, but he needs to be more assertive, and I haven't seen it.
I would say that him coming on and scoring the tying goal against Russia in that game may have been a statement for him. Can we see more of it in this tournament, though? The other player that we're looking at very closely, is Aguchi Onyewu. When you look at the center backs, you see Matt Beasler and Omar Gonzalez really rising to the top of this group. And then maybe you have Jeff Cameron, who can play in a bunch of different positions. But there's probably only going to be one real veteran center back who ends up going to the World Cup. And the question is that Clarence Goodson? Is it Aguchi Onyewu? Is it potentially Carlos Bocanegra if he works his way back in the mix? And it's interesting because now you have Goodson and Onyewu partnered together.
Yeah. And they're competing against each other, in my opinion, for that spot that you mentioned. Because, look, Klinsmann is likely going to take Jeff Cameron and Maurice Edu to Brazil when they qualify for the World Cup. Those two can play center back. So you really don't need 2 more center backs. 1 is enough. And I think Onyewu has a little bit of a longer way to go than Goodson because Goodson has been in more camps. He's actually gotten appearances under Klinsmann. So, and he's going to be in MLS. He's going to get minutes. So Goodson is in a better spot than Onyewu. Where's he going to play? How many minutes is he going to play with his club team? That's a big issue for him moving forward.
All right, these are a couple storylines we're going to be following throughout the Gold Cup.
You can catch both these games tonight on Fox Soccer, with the first Costa Rica versus Cuba at 8:30 p.m., followed by the U.S. taking on Belize at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, that's all we have for Gold Cup today, but be sure to check back tomorrow for all the highlights and analysis from tonight's games and much more. I'm Samantha Yarock for MLSsoccer.com. Thanks for watching.